In 1960, according to statistics, Nigeria had a population of 45.14 million. 63 years later, in the year 2023, we have roughly between 210 to 230 million population. What makes our population grow so fast? What made us the most populous black nation on earth? What is the fraud behind this population? Today I'm going to be comparing Nigerian population to four other European countries. You're watching Future ABC Media Online TV, and my name is Ms. Adiyaju. Today we're going to be discussing about the Nigerian population, its effect, the fraud behind it. And I'm going to be sharing my own opinion on what I feel and what people should do. So I'm just going to be sharing my own opinion on the effect of it and how we can prepare for the future, for a better future, in order to avert what happens to our parents, our grandparents, or some of our ancestors that we've heard their stories. I'm going to be comparing our population to four European countries, which are United Kingdom, Sweden, Switzerland, and Romania. In 1960, like I said earlier, according to statistics, Nigeria had a population of 45,140 something thousand people, which made us a densely populated country in the country as at then. So today I'm going to be comparing us to four other European countries, which are Switzerland, like I said earlier, Sweden, Romania, and the United Kingdom. Switzerland had a population of 5,328,000 people as at then, while Sweden had 7,485,000 people as at then, as at the same 1960. Switzerland is 5,328,000, while Sweden was 7,485,000 people. Romania had a population of 18.41 million people in 1960, while United Kingdom had a population of 52.4 million. As at 1960, even United Kingdom had more population than the whole of Nigeria put together. So let's come back to 63 years later. What happened 63 years later? Nigeria is roughly calculated to be between 210 to 230 million people in the country. Why we have the likes of Switzerland have grown their population from 5,328,000 people to 8,785,000 people, 623, which means they have only added the roughly in the last 63 years, Switzerland have only managed to add 3,457,623 people to their population in 63 years. While Sweden now stand at 10,549,347 people, and they have a difference of 3,064,347 people within the last 63 years. So Switzerland had only managed to have 3 point, let's just say roughly 3.5 million, and Sweden had almost 3,064,000 people. So Romania in the last 63 years have managed to add just 1 million plus to their population. So from 18,410,000, they now have 19,659,267 people, which amount to a difference of 1,249,267 people. Just 1 million plus difference in the last 63 years. In the last 63 years, United Kingdom that happens to be 52.4 million population have increased their population to 67.44 million, which marks a difference of 15.04 million in their population increase. If you pay attention to all the details I just gave, Switzerland had increase of 3.4 million, or a maximum increase of 3.5 million. Sweden had 3,064,000 increase. Romania had just 1.2, let's just say 1.25 million in estimation, while UK, which is the United Kingdom, had an increase of 15.04 million. And United Kingdom means we're talking about the likes of the British people, let's say the Scottish, uh, and some other few other territories under United Kingdom. But Nigeria, in the last 63 years, in our rough estimation, we've managed to add a whopping 170.72 million to our population or more, depending on the rough estimation. So, and yet, we don't have proper structure, we don't have a diminutive increase in infrastructure across the country. There are loads of factors that can help diminish the growth of a country. In my opinion, I believe it all starts from unnecessary birth rates. So let's now come to this birth rate. Why do we have so much birth rate? I'm going to give you my opinion. See, many Nigerians today give birth to children as investment. This is where the problem lies. Their children are their investment. So when you see the likes of the white people, the European, the developed country, mind what they give birth to, it's because they see the process of life as the process of giving birth as continuity of life, not as investment. One thing people pay attention to when they are trying to build their life is to grow their investment. So rather than grow our infrastructure, our basic need, our development, people are giving birth to many children because they see children as investment. And what do I mean? The parent gave birth to you, whether they sent you to school or they sent you to go and learn one and do work or the other. They have this mentality in their head, register permanently in their head that the moment they are giving birth to you, maybe you are going to grow up to turn up big or successful or financially successful someday, so you'll be able to give them back a return. Let me read one message to you. One of the shocking message I have here is about a message I got from someone, and I'm going to be reading this message to you. Okay, so I've gotten the message I want to read. It was a message that transpired between a father and his supposed son, and it reads by this. The father is the one sending this to his son so as to know where African parent mentality comes from. I don't know where all this ideology comes from and stuff. Said the message read thus. By now, you need to know that I am your burden till I die, except you denounce it. See, should I read it again? By now, you know it was the father telling the son, passing a message to his son. You need to know that I am your burden till I die. So, where does all this concept came from, really, actually? Who did this to us? Who draw out the concept the pattern and the path in which we follows in Africa, especially Nigeria. Now I'm talking about Nigeria now because when I read the population, I wasn't reading African population, I was reading to you the Nigerian population ranging from 1960 to 2023, which is 63 years difference. So a father telling his supposed son that is his burden till he dies. I don't know whether it is like that in Europe, but I can bet my life on it that that's not the way they behave. So the question is, who are children to every parent? Are they being seen as human beings or they are being seen as investment or future investment? Especially when they becomes old and weary. See, I've seen different debates on whether you should take care of your parents or whether you shouldn't take care of your parents when you grow up. But I believe that I'm not talking about all Nigerians, I mean most Nigerians, especially the poor set of people. You will see people give birth to many children, unfortunately, Obviously, you know you cannot take care of yourself conveniently. At first, as a man, you marry a woman. Then, when you marry a woman, you marry another liability like yourself. Then, after which you start to churn out children as if it's just like a normal thing, a normal routine. You understand? So, the question is, if parents did not see or do not see children as investment, would they have had so much? So in Nigeria, we see a lot of parents are like that too. Some are the effrontery to say it out, some don't. But actually, every parent oftentimes see their children as investment. Almost every parent, let me not say every parent, there are still some wise ones, especially the ones who understand the real culture of the Europeans and the American, the developed country, and how they behave, how they relate to with their children, and how they nurture their children. Because in the developed country now, parents are the one who takes care of children, help them nurture their life to maturity stage, and provide a platform or the right path for them to walk on. And in most developed country, people inherit their grandmother's estate, properties, even their parents' properties and stuff like that. They give inheritance to their children. But in Nigeria here, most of the parents are expecting their children to work harder wherever they find themselves, whether they are here in Nigeria or they are over there in diaspora, to work harder so that they can send money down home for them to be able to feed, for them to be able to probably get an apartment or build an apartment for themselves or probably ride cars and stuff. They just fully depend on their children, which I consider fraudulent. So the main purpose, if you are in Nigeria, you will understand what I'm talking about, especially when you can relate with my message. So I deliberately did this video today in order to encourage the youths that are coming up to change the narrative, to change the cause of effect, and to change the direction through which our parents had always been thinking. That if you are still working now, you are still a young man or a grown up man still working, I'm encouraging you to plan for your life, prepare for the future, and have this expectation that what if your children did not grow up with you? What if something happens to them? What if they die? And I believe by now a lot of Christians will have been saying, God forbid. Well, the truth of life is that life happens to everybody. People die, whether you're a Christian, or a Muslim, a believer, or uh, an idol worshiper like they call them, or whatever. Things happen. We've seen Christians lost their children. We've seen Muslim does the same thing. We've seen a lot of people die. Anything can happen to anybody at any time. Whether you God forbid it from now till tomorrow, what will be. Especially when you are not cautious or careful. There are some children, the child who was serving in Lagos about a few years ago that was using AirPod at along Oshodi that a train cleared and killed. I'm sure the parents must have been Christian or so, judging by her name. I'm not sure they planned that the child was going to die at that period, but life happened and mistake happened, and her life was claimed. So it's imperative for us now to start preparing for our own future. And how do you prepare for your future? Buy investment, with dedicate a portion of an amount from the portion of your salary, a portion of your salary, dedicate it to investing for yourself. Even there are some smart parents who even invest for their children. Some might not give their children this big inheritance in terms of landed properties, buildings, or cars, or whatever, but they will buy down investment for them when they are young. And before those children grow up, those investments will have become big. And when the children are done with school, they always have safe landing or soft landing, whereby their investment is there for them to use to propagate whatever thing they want to do in order to have quick growth. But if you are just like a typical Nigeria who is so dependent, uh, if you're a typical Nigeria, who believe in the concept that your parents have been using, they have deposited that trait in you, that ideology in you, which I consider stupid and insensitive anyway, and very risky. That you want to plant or build your own life at your old age on the on anything your children are going to become. What if your children are also struggling in the future? Then how do you feed? How do you cope? So if you look at the population of Nigeria, a massive difference of 117 million plus in 1963, you will know where our investment lies. You will know our investment does not lies on good roads, good schools, good infrastructure, basic infrastructure, and the likes of things that build economy. Our investment lies on people. So the only best set of people among us are the one who understood the population, the effect of the population and how they can take advantage of it. And that's why Dangote becomes so rich today. Even if Dangote doesn't export anything out of this country today, just producing and supplying the population of Nigeria alone will make him rich. Maybe for business people, for marketers, who, because that's the same thing in China. If you have a densely populated area where you can market your product, the product will move fast. So our people here only give birth to children because they see them as investment. Because even look at it, what has any parent done for any child? Almost not. Most parents, except for the ones who are rich and privileged, and the ones who are rich, privileged, and well educated and well exposed. But for an average Nigerian, especially, it's cut across all tribes. Doesn't matter which tribe. It's not about Hausa gets Hausa have many population or whatever. No, it cuts across all tribes. I've seen Yoruba give birth to 7, 8, 12 before. I've seen Edo, which are usual. I've seen Igbo give birth to 10 children. I've seen Delta people do does the same thing. I've seen the Calabar just gave birth to 6, 8. And when you look at their status, there was a time when we were young, there's a building in front of our house, like a face me and face you building. There is this Calabar couples that were living there, and they have almost 6 children, and they live in the same one room. You can imagine the kind of stench that will be coming out from such room. 6 children and 2 parents, and they even have one auntie and one uncle staying with them in that same one room, sharing toilet with every other person in the house. These are the people who make your soak away fill up on time. But well, that's just me humoring you. But the truth is just that, do you think parents always actually have plans for their children? Maybe few people these days are coming up, but largely many Nigerians only give birth for the giving birth. I don't know whether it's just because they want to copulate, they want to have sexual pleasure or intimacy or whatever. Maybe some don't even plan for children. They just do whatever thing they want to do, and the pregnancy comes and they give birth. And some actually almost often do have the intention of giving birth to many children. You will see a poor man. I've seen it in the northern and the south. This is not about one tribe claiming that they love children. And they will love children, and you don't have the wherewithal, you don't have the money, and you give birth to so many. Good schools you can't send them. Even normal school you can't send them to. Some people are so poor that they can't even send them to go and learn one work or whatever. So some children from their young age becomes prostitutes, some becomes like street urchins, some become slaves to other people. Some are beginning to do maid since they are young. Some have their life have been subjected to all kind of ridicule, all kind of, and then the parents are still expecting that they should go and strive in the economy, in the ash economy, and become successful and then come and take care of them. That's why a father who should have planned for his own future at the effrontery to test his child that he is his burden till they die, except the child wants to denounce it. Well, for now, if you are caught in this kind of category, well, I'm not saying don't take care of your parent, but I'm telling you that if you grow up with this kind of mentality and all you have been doing in your life is to work and work and work to take care of your own family, take care of your wife, and at the same time still take care of your parents, you will hardly have savings. You are not investing for your future, for the future of your children, and for even if anything should happen to you all of a sudden, your wife is doomed. She will become a married prostitute, especially if she doesn't have what it takes to take care of the children. She will be tossed around by different lewd men, different men who are odious in nature, sleeping around with them just to get 2,000, 3,000 in order to just. And if you don't believe me, I've seen, if you live in the kind of environment where I see it almost on a daily basis, women who subject themselves to ridicule just to probably, I've seen a lot of people go to, even most men who have shops around, you go and ask them around you. If you are close to any one of them, you see married women go up, walk up to them and ask them out themselves and just for favor or benefit, 2,000, 3,000 naira, sell their body just to feed their children. That's the kind of lifestyle some people have subjected themselves to, all in the name of parenting. And the mother who is doing that, obviously, what do you expect? Is expecting the child to also grow up to see the kind of labor and the kind of pain she went through in order to take care of them, and so as for him to start making money and coming to remit. That's the type of parents we have mostly and largely in Africa. People who don't plan for their own future, they don't plan for anything. So they only just give birth for giving birth's sake. I remember when I went to the general hospital the first time when my wife was having her first child and the second one. It was the same story. You see regular people in general hospital, even some of the nurses knows them. They will ask them jokingly like, you don't everything day doing, like you have come again this year. Like it's a regular thing for them on a yearly basis. They are just churning out children. And when you look at them, you will see all sort of every trait of poverty, every trait of insensibility, every trait of lack of common sense. You is written in their look, in the way they dress, in the way they speak. You will know that they are like they are heavily frustrated. And yet they still keep carrying pregnancy here and there, year to year. It's like a competition to them. So largely they believe that the more children they have, the larger their investment. Take for instance, for someone who have like 12 children now, he or she will believe that okay, out of the 12, at least one will be successful and they'll be able to take care of us. And in most cases, all the 12 will not be successful. Because like I often tell people, it's better you have one or two that you can treat, help nurture, treat very well, groom very well, or give good orientations to, that will become successful than to have like a 14 or I even while I was at Abuja, I witnessed an incident. I knew a girl who used to who used to work in a company at Abuja that I met there. Her name was Dupe. And I met her friend at one point who is into prostitution. And I asked Dupe, why is your friend into prostitution? Dupe said, hey, her case is something like that. Her mother had, is it 15 or 18 children or so, according to what she told me then. And she had them with different men, almost five different men. I said, where do they live? She told me they live in one room. So he jokingly said that whenever they want to sleep, she jokingly said that whenever they want to sleep, that they used to lap each other while sleeping. in one room. So the eldest daughter happens to be Dupe's friend. So she had to go into prostitution at the very Dupe said she has been into prostitution for since she was 15 or so as to help the mother cater for the younger ones. See the kind of life they have subjected that lady to. So it is by maybe luck or miracle or favor that she will become successfully married someday, because the kind of situation her mother created had destroyed her. And that's the way many Nigerian parents destroy their children on, for many on many occasions, destroying the life of their children. For a guy who is just working and earning like maybe 70,000 naira now, some people have to start paying regular monthly allowance to their parents, all in the name. Then the question you will now ask is, when that parent was also young, what was he or she doing? Really? What are they putting together? What were they doing? Were they not planning for the future? Is it a must that we must be the highest black most populated people in the world? Why do we have this much population if not for fraudulent acts? Because people don't give birth to children, not because they like humanity or they like the continuity of it, not because they love these children the way they ought to even love them. People who doesn't even know how to love. They are not truthful, they are not honest, they lack wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. So how do you expect them to love aright? You will see a parent, a father or a mother still open and forcing and extorting money from their children, and they will call it love. You even see them boast about it that if not for the fact that I love you, I won't be asking you. Why will you love someone and be taking away from them things that can make them grow? So if you are also listening to the sound of my voice, let me speak like your pastors and all your imams. If you are listening to the sound of my voice and you're listening to this video today, think about your life. Don't be like your parents. Try as much as possible to put down investment that will give you good proceed even when so if you grow old, if you have things that are working for you, whether your children brings money or not will be like an addition. In fact, they are not being compelled at that period to make sure they provide food or whatever. So whenever they are coming to you, they might come empty-handed and just come and check your well-being. And if they come, sometimes they might come with just gifts that comes from their heart, not the one they are being compelled to. A lot of people painstakingly give their parents on the money, not because it's convenient for them, but at the end of the day, it is what it is. I'm not going to talk much on this. I just want to touch on what I want to touch on. My video is all about, as this discussion comes, anytime I'm thinking about something, I just always want to share it with you people based on what I've seen while living in this country and the rot it has caused and the effect, negative effect it caused. But I believe that Nigerians, many Nigerians, or most Nigerians, which I can debate anybody, gave birth to children not because they actually love them. They gave birth to many, hoping that okay, with their wretched life and their wrecked life, their children will help resuscitate it in the future, which is not often the case, because while trying to put those children into such situation, they further plunge them as well into that same lifestyle where those ones who grow up to give birth, hoping that the way we have taken care of our parents is the same way our children too will come back and take care of us. And that kept this kind of recycling, the recycling of such ideology or such traits is what keep giving birth to penury, poverty over poverty upon poverty. And here we are in this country, being the capital poverty of the world. So what is the essence of our population? Is it to further build our country or to further sink it into the shithole that we have turned it into? So until I come your way again next time to discuss about other sensitive topic or other sensitive issues that are affecting our life in general. I remain the same. I remain Adeyanju. I am watching Future ABC Online Media, Online TV. So please subscribe to this station, to this channel. Help share this message if you like it. You can help, you can like it. And if you have your own comments, if you disagree with what I say, no problem. You can put it at the comment section. I will read it and discuss. I mean, have a chat with you or reply your message. But if you pay attention to everything I've said and do your own research everywhere, because whenever I come online to talk, I don't just come to talk about assumption or things that I create. I come to talk about things that I've seen, things that I've heard, and things that I know. So until we meet again next time, do take care and have a blessed day.